Bob, so the basic one, what'd you like, what didn't you like?
I didn't like much. I thought the young guys I had in at the end, I thought they did a good job. Knapp was, Knapp's getting better. We've been waiting for him to kind of do what we thought he could do, and I thought he did that today. We just didn't run anything. We weren't very good defensively, and for what I think we need to be a really good team, I thought we were horrible. 1 rebound in the ball, 2 from the free throw line, and 3 from three-point range. We've got to do those things better.
And when you see them in practice, do you have that?
Well, we make shots in practice. They make 100 free throws at the end of practice. The way we shot them tonight, it'd been an all-night deal, probably. I thought we had made some strides this past week, and then some of our older guys let us down. I say let us down, but meaning that they didn't do what we practiced, and then then the younger guys are kind of like looking around like, what am I supposed to do? We got a ways to go, but I think we all knew that. When you had 3 seniors, and really we only had 2 seniors today because Jermaine's hurt. You're playing a whole bunch of new guys. It's going to take a little bit. Hope it don't take very long.
Jermaine will be okay by next week, or
I don't know. I would assume he would be.
So the constant question, anything new on Gabe?
No. Working on it.
What do you work on now to next Friday?
They're going to ball screen a lot, and we did a good job at times in ball screens, and we did a horrific job sometimes in ball screens. And we got to be more consistent with how we guard them. We got to be much more consistent in our rotations behind the double team. We got to be a whole lot better with our hands in the double team. We got a lot to work on. We didn't rebound it. We were.
I guess this was nice to get Jalen out there and have a chance to see what he can do, and also to give him a chance to play out here, because he's not redshirt, he ain't gonna play a whole lot.
Yeah, I wanted to get him back in, Bob, with about 4 minutes to go, whatever, and then I had guys out there didn't know what they were doing, and I needed Emmett out there to kind of, and that's kind of a sad state of affairs whenever you got a sophomore that you have to have on the floor, because we can't run anything if he's not out there.
What does he bring, Bridges?
Size, I think size at a wing position. He shoots it really well, and he's got a good basketball intellect. It's just the game goes so much faster, than what it did in high school. I think that's the biggest thing that those guys have to get used to, is speed of the game.
Rather mature decision, isn't it, on his part to decide to redshirt rather than, most kids would want to get in there.
Well, he and Corey, his father, I think they just didn't do things just kind of at a whim. They really did study things, but I think it was a great move on their part to bring him, you know, here and redshirt as a freshman as opposed to go to a prep school. Playing against who he's going to play against every day here is going to be so much more valuable. Plus, he's going to learn what we do and how we do it. He'll be so much more ready to play as a freshman, having been in the program for a year, than he would have been had he gone to a prep school and then came in.
Coach, there is a great argument in that statement right now, but one that you're probably not going to win with a lot of kids today in a situation like that. Is that fair or assessment or?
I don't know. I mean, but you're talking about a good student. He's a good student. You know, he's a great kid. He didn't have to go to shore up his academics. You know, he's a, and not that all those guys do. I don't mean it that way.
Right.
But I mean, he's a pretty mature kid, and you know, his dad was a player, and his dad has done, I think, a great job of helping him grow into what he can be. So he's a little different.
What do you see from Oscar? I mean, he had a nice stat line, didn't he?
He does what everybody knew he could do. He rebounds it and scores around the rim. He misses free throws. I mean, we all knew what he could do. I mean, he'll get better and better. You're talking about a guy who's been in the country for 3 years and has played basketball for 2. And not quite honestly, played it in high school and was bigger and stronger and just better than everybody. Now he's got to do things more right than what he had to do before, because we got other guys as big and strong as he is.
Coach, it's easy for me or just people in general to say, you know, you got Derek, you got Oscar inside, just dump it down there and see what happens. But there's obviously a lot more to it than just that. How difficult is it to execute that kind of game plan? Obviously the defense is going to have some say about it, but guard play has something to say about it as well.
Well, we ran a couple ISOs to start the game for Emmett, but you know, Justin, it's if you're a point guard, you have to know who's coming open first, who's coming open second, and then if there's help coming, then to throw it back the other way. And that's hard. I mean, because you have to know really what's coming inside out. It wasn't we didn't have guys open. We just didn't throw them the ball. We held it, and then we didn't get it to them when they were open. I mean, we had a situation where, and we catch it and dribble it too much. You know, that's the new thing, is dribble it, you know. So we catch it and we dribble it and we dribble it and we dribble it, and then by then they're covered up. We had Derek posting one time, Oscar on the other side with nobody even close to him, and we dribbled it 4 times. And early in the game we caught it I don't know how many times and passed up a shot to drive it in and lose it.
Frustrating part of the game, I would imagine.
They don't seem to bother them all that much. Does me, but I don't think it bothers them all that much.
Bob, can I ask you? I'm from Dayton. I want to ask you something.
I know you are. I saw your picture in the paper numerous times.
You just tell me why you did this game and what it kind of meant to you and how you felt it went tonight.
Well, when was it? A year ago, 2 years ago, maybe. 2 years ago, I think it was. And actually, I think Bill Self at Kansas kind of spearheaded the deal. Like, why do we have a secret scrimmage, or why do we have a scrimmage that nobody can attend when we could have a scrimmage, generate money, and at that time give it to hurricane victims? And you know, we did that for 2 years. We gave it to hurricane relief, and with what happened in Dayton. And what's happening around the country, we thought that it would be a great deal to give it to the charity to help those families that are going through what they're going through. And and that's from the top down. I mean, Shane Lyons, our AD, was all in from the beginning, and Simon Dover will be the guy who kind of makes sure the money goes where the money's supposed to go, and hopefully in a very timely fashion. So that's everybody here was all in, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
And one last thing, you've been tied to that town for, I mean, I know you come up here and spoke a lot, you pulled some athletes out of there, and you used to come up and play there sometime, I don't know, just, so you got a lot of ties there, right?
Yeah. Well, I went in there a couple times, didn't get who I wanted. They ended up on the wrong river. Yeah, I mean, I've spent a lot of time in there. I've spent a lot of time in. I've got I think a very good relationship with a lot of the basketball coaches and athletic directors, and then I do go once a year. I go in and speak at the club, and they keep calling and ask me. I keep going. Yeah.
Bob, how's Jordan doing?
How is Jordan doing? I think good at times and not so good at times. I thought defensively he was better today than what he's been. Excuse me, Mike. Offensively, I thought he was worse. And he passes the ball too well not to get the ball to guys when they're open. We've got to spend time working on that with him. I think because he's so skilled, sometimes we take things for granted. That's our fault. That's not his fault. That's 100% our fault.
Coach, what does it mean to you to have two big guys like Derek and Oscar that are still both somewhat of a raw talent?
What does it mean? It means the way both of them foul, I need more. I don't know. Derek hasn't been. Honestly, Derek averaged 9.9 rebounds a game. Man, think about that. 9.9 rebounds a game. Didn't play the first semester. Didn't play against the bad teams. That was against Big 12 competition. He averaged 10 rebounds a game. Actually, averaged almost 12 points and 10 rebounds a game. And wasn't preseason first team All-League, by the way. I need to add, which is a joke. But he just, I think he's. What's the word I'm looking for? He's kind of passed the baton to Oscar, sort of. It's kind of like I'll get mine whenever whenever we really start playing and we really need to. And I'm not sure it works like that. I think it's such a game of repetition, and we've got to start getting him more and more and more reps. And obviously we spent a lot of time with Oscar because Oscar needed it. And I think Logan played as poorly today as what he's played, but I think a lot of that is too he didn't get reps, because we're trying to catch the other guy up, and it's you forget things when you don't get those constant reps. So we got to figure out a way to get all three of them more reps.
How's the McNeil kid doing?
He's doing good. He's doing good. He was he got sick in Spain. He played well in Spain, and then he got sick. He got some kind of rare, I want to say blood disease, but don't. That's not 100%. I'm not 100% sure of that, but it was something like that, and was really sick and lost a bunch of weight, and then his brother got married, and he was kind of home for that, but he was still kind of sick then. He just with all the things going on, it was really hard for him to get back to 100% health. Tom, it's just happened. I mean, it's just in the last maybe week and a half, he's been kind of full go. So, I mean, I think he's got a great future here. We gotta, like all of them, you gotta keep them healthy.
You played really well offensively in the second half. Is that kind of what you were expecting from him, or?
Well, he averaged, 35 a game, so you probably figure he can maybe score a few. He's got a great touch, and he can get his own shot. He's going to score points. And I thought he was better defensively. I thought he was way better defensively than what he's been.
Anything else? Bob, you crushed him on the boards and second chance points, and you're not happy with the way he rebounded?
No.
Is the bar that high already?
Yes. I mean, Mike, why wouldn't I expect Derek to do what he did, at least what he did a year ago? I think that's fair. Why wouldn't I expect Logan to make a tremendous jump when he has gotten a whole lot better? And neither one of those two were as active and got their hands on the balls that we really expect them to.
Coach, thank you.